Hey curious people, welcome back to the Curiosity Kingdom. Today in this first episode of our season 3, we are going to have our first video of our Let's Know series, and in this video we are going to discuss how do heavy ships manage to float, or why don't heavy ships sink. So you're going to learn a lot. As usual, I'm Athar Dubey and let's begin. We all know that ships like cruise ships or transport ships or crane ships, these are super heavy, weighing in hundreds of thousands of tons. But they manage to keep themselves afloat on water bodies, whereas a useless penny of about 2.5 grams sinks. In order to know why this happened, let's talk about buoyant force. Buoyant force is the force that helps object to float. Whenever an object is immersed in a liquid, the liquid applies a force in the upward direction. This force is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the object immersed in. Well, what is weight? Well, weight is, unlike what many people think, is not actually equals to the mass, but is actually mass into acceleration due to gravity. And mass is equals to density into volume. So we can say that the weight of the liquid displaced is equals to density into volume into acceleration due to gravity. And also the weight of the object immersed in it can also be using the same logic, expressed as density of the object into the volume of the object into the acceleration due to gravity. Now, in order to determine which is greater, the weight of the object or the buoyant force, we need to look at the factors there are. There are three factors: the density, volume, and acceleration due to gravity. And here we come to the interesting. The acceleration due to gravity is a constant which equals to 9.8 meter per second square. So we can remove it from a comparison. And the volume of liquid displaced and the volume of the object are both the same. See, if you put a cube of 1 centimeter cube volume, it will only displace water of 1 centimeter cube volume. So therefore, they both are also equal. And so we are only left with density. So who has higher density will be greater, and so will be the result. So the object has higher density, it will sink, and if it has less density than the liquid, it will float. Now we come back to the mammoth ships. The ships are made up of steel or aluminium in general, both of them being solid are more dense than the liquid water, and so they should sink. But here's the thing, the ship is not completely made up of steel or aluminium. It has large amount of space left, and that space is occupied by air, and air being a gas is very less dense, and therefore in total it averages out equal to the density or even less to the density of water, which helps the mammoth ship to float. This question could be answered in a very small statement like, if an object is less dense than the water, it will float, and if it's more dense, then it will sink. Ships are made of steel and aluminium, therefore the density is more. Therefore, in order to make the density equal to the water, they have large spaces which are filled with air, which averages out the density, and therefore they float. But that's not our style. We'll start from buoyancy. And by this we come to the end of this video. Hope you learned something new. If yes, then don't forget to give this a thumbs up, new channel, and don't forget to subscribe to it. Also, you can follow some various social media handles. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family to help us grow. Until the next time, keep learning, keep asking, and stay curious.